In the gated community, she was the queen. She lived in the biggest house on the street. She had the most expensive car. She judged everyone. She thought she was better than everyone. She was a HOA president who made rules for everyone. But that day at the gas station, she made a terrible mistake. She saw a little girl with cerebral palsy who could not walk like other children. The woman became angry for no reason. She said terrible, cruel words to the mother and disabled child. She attacked them with her mean words. But what happened next shocked everyone. 5 minutes after leaving that gas station, the woman received a call. She lost her job. Her life changed forever. The security camera had captured everything. And the whole world was watching. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. The morning sun was bright and warm when Sarah decided to take her daughter Emma to the gas station. Emma was 7 years old and loved going to the store inside the station to pick a candy. Sarah worked as a manager at a marketing firm and made good money. She lived in an expensive neighborhood where everyone had big houses and nice cars. But Sarah was not like the other women in her neighborhood. She was kind, humble, and loved her daughter more than anything in the world. Emma was born with cerebral palsy. This made it hard for her to walk and talk clearly. When Emma was born, doctors told Sarah that her daughter would never be normal. But Sarah did not listen to them. She loved Emma with all her heart and treated her like any other child. Emma went to school. She had friends. She was happy. Emma had a big smile that could light up the darkest room. Even though Emma could not walk without help, she could laugh. She could love. She could dream. Sarah held Emma's hand as they walked into the gas station. Emma moved slowly because her legs did not work like other children's legs. But she was smiling. She was excited about the candy she would choose. Sarah had no idea that this simple trip would change everything. Inside the station, a woman was standing near the candy section. Her name was Karen Mitchell. Karen was 45 years old. She wore expensive clothes and drove an expensive car. She had a job as a manager at a bank. But Karen was not happy inside. She had no children. She had no real friends. She only had anger and meanness in her heart. Karen looked at people and judged them. She thought she was better than everyone else because she had money. When Karen saw Emma walking slowly with Sarah's help, she made a face. She rolled her eyes. She looked at Emma like Emma was something dirty, something that should not be in this clean store. Sarah did not see Karen's face because she was busy helping Emma reach the candy shelf. Emma wanted a lollipop. A big red one. Okay, baby, Sarah said softly. That one is beautiful. Let's get it for you. Emma smiled big and tried to point at the lollipop, but her finger did not go where she wanted it to. Her hand shook a little. This happened sometimes with Emma because of her condition. But Emma did not care. She was happy. Karen watched all of this. She watched Emma's hand shake. She watched Sarah help her daughter. And something dark moved inside Karen's chest. She felt angry. She did not know why she felt angry. Maybe it was because Sarah was beautiful and kind. Maybe it was because Emma was happy even though she could not walk properly. Maybe it was because Karen's own life was empty and sad. Karen walked over to where Sarah and Emma were standing. "Excuse me," Karen said. Her voice was sharp and mean. "Why do you bring that thing into a public place? It makes people uncomfortable. Look at her. She is disgusting. She will contaminate the store. She should not be here." Sarah froze. She could not believe what she was hearing. She felt her heart stop. She looked at Karen with confusion. "I am sorry," Sarah said. "What did you say?" "You heard me," Karen said. Her face was red with anger, but Sarah did not understand why. Your child is a burden. You should not show her in public. It is ugly. It is sick. You are a bad mother for bringing it here. The word, it, cut Sarah like a knife. She had never heard anyone call her daughter, it, before. She felt tears come to her eyes. But she was also angry. Very angry. My daughter's name is Emma, Sarah said. Her voice was shaking. She is a beautiful, perfect child. And you are a cruel, mean person. Other people in the store turned to look. The gas station worker behind the counter looked shocked. An old man standing near the drinks looked very angry at Karen. But Karen was not finished. She stepped closer to Sarah and Emma. She pointed at Emma. Look at her, Karen said loudly. This is what happens when people make mistakes. This is what happens when bad genes mix. Your daughter should never have been born. She is a waste of space. She is a waste of life. When Karen said these words, something inside Sarah broke. Not in a bad way. It broke like a dam breaking. All the worry she had ever felt for Emma, all the fear that people would not accept her daughter, all the love she had for Emma, it all came out. Sarah stepped forward. She was smaller than Karen, but she was strong with love and protection for her child. Do you know what my daughter can do? Sarah said. Her voice was now very strong. She can love. She can dream. She can make people smile. She makes my life beautiful every single day. What can you do? You make people sad. You make people angry. You bring darkness everywhere you go. You are the one who is a waste. Not my daughter. Never my daughter. Emma was crying now. She did not understand all the words, but she understood that someone was being mean. Sarah picked Emma up and held her tight. Emma put her head on her mother's shoulder. The old man walked over to Karen. You should be ashamed of yourself, he said. I am 70 years old. I have seen a lot in my life. But I have never seen anyone so cruel. That little girl did nothing to you. You are the monster here, not her. The gas station worker came from behind the counter. I am calling the police, the worker said to Karen. You cannot talk to people like this. You need to leave right now. Karen's face changed. She looked scared suddenly. But she still tried to act tough. Whatever, she said. I was just telling the truth. This child should not. Get out, the worker said firmly. Now. Karen left the store, but not before giving Emma and Sarah one more mean look. Her last words were, you will regret this. Sarah held Emma and paid for the lollipop. Then they went to sit in the car. Sarah cried and cried while Emma sat next to her, confused and scared. Mommy? Emma said. Why was that lady so mean? Sarah could barely speak. She pulled Emma close. Some people have bad things in their hearts, Sarah said. But that is not our problem, baby. We are good. We are kind. We are enough. But inside, Sarah was hurt. She was hurt deeper than she had ever been hurt before. That night, Sarah could not sleep. She kept thinking about what Karen had said. She kept thinking about Emma crying in the car. The next morning, Sarah went to work like normal. She sat in her office and tried to do her job. But she was thinking about Karen. She was thinking about how mean the world could be. At lunchtime, Sarah's boss called her into his office. Sarah, her boss said, we have a situation. Sarah's heart dropped. She did not know what was coming, but she felt afraid. A customer called our office this morning, her boss said. She said you attacked her yesterday at a gas station. She said you hit her and screamed at her. She is threatening to sue the company. Sarah felt the room spin around her. That is not true, Sarah said. I did not attack anyone. But yesterday a woman was very cruel to my daughter. I defended my daughter. I did not touch her. I did not hit her. I only spoke to her. Sarah's boss looked uncomfortable. The woman's name is Karen Mitchell, he said. She works at First National Bank. She is apparently very connected. She knows important people. She called here and she also called some other people. She is telling everyone that you are unstable. She is telling people that you are a bad mother. She said your daughter is a danger to other children. Sarah felt tears come to her eyes again. This is a lie, Sarah said. Why would you believe her? I do believe you, her boss said. But the company is worried about lawsuits. We are worried about the publicity. We have decided to let you go. I am very sorry. Sarah could not believe what she was hearing. She had worked at this company for 5 years. She had been a good employee. She had never caused any problems. And now, because of one cruel woman and one bad moment, she was losing her job. This is wrong, Sarah said. You cannot do this. I am very sorry, her boss said. It is already decided. We will give you 2 weeks of pay and a good reference. I am truly sorry about this. Sarah left the office with her things in a box. She walked to her car and sat down. She put her face in her hands and cried. That afternoon, Sarah picked Emma up from school early. She did not tell Emma about losing her job. She just held her and was grateful that Emma was there. That night, Sarah sat at her computer. She was so angry and hurt that she started to research Karen Mitchell. She found Karen's work information online. She found Karen's pictures from the bank's website. She found Karen's address in the neighborhood where Sarah lived. Sarah sat in the darkness and felt anger fill her body. She wanted to do something. She wanted Karen to feel the pain that Sarah was feeling. But she did not know what to do. Then, the next day, something happened that Sarah did not expect. Sarah woke up to her phone ringing. It was someone from a local news station. Ms. Johnson, the voice said. This is Rebecca Torres from Channel 5 News. We heard about what happened at the gas station. We would like to talk to you about your story. How did you find out? Sarah asked. The gas station has security cameras, Rebecca said. The owner watched the video. He was very upset about what happened. He sent the video to us. He also told us about losing your job because of this woman. Sarah's heart started to beat faster. Can you come to our office? Rebecca asked. We think your story is important. We think people need to know about this. Sarah said yes. 2 hours later, she and Emma were sitting in the news station. Rebecca was a kind woman who listened to Sarah's whole story. She showed Sarah the video from the gas station. Sarah watched herself and Emma. She watched Karen's cruelty. She watched the old man stand up for Emma. This video is going to make people very angry, Rebecca said. But I think it is good. I think this story needs to be told. That evening, the news report came on television. It showed Karen attacking Sarah and Emma. It showed Karen saying cruel things about Emma. It showed Sarah defending her daughter. The old man from the gas station was interviewed. He talked about how shocked and angry he was. The news story was called A Mother's Love, One Woman's Fight Against Cruelty. The internet exploded. Thousands of people watched the video. Thousands of people got very angry. Karen's bank started getting phone calls. Angry people told the bank that Karen was cruel and mean. They said Karen did not deserve to work there. The next day, Karen was called to her boss's office at the bank. She was fired immediately. The bank said that Karen's behavior was not acceptable. The bank said that Karen did not fit with the company's values. Karen drove home in shock. She had lost her job, just like Sarah had lost her job. But this time, Karen deserved it. But the story was not finished. 3 days later, Sarah got another phone call. This time it was from a big company. The company had seen the news story. They said they wanted to hire Sarah. They said they admired her strength and her love for her daughter. They offered Sarah a job that paid more money than her old job. Sarah said yes. 1 week later, Sarah started working at the new company. But this time, things were different. Her new boss knew her story. Her co-workers knew her story. They were all kind to Sarah and Emma. Emma was also happy. Emma got to go to school without worry. Emma got to smile and laugh without fear. 1 month after getting her new job, Sarah got another call. This time it was from a lawyer. "Ms. Johnson," the lawyer said, "I represent a family that has a daughter with the same condition as Emma. They saw your news story. They were so moved by your story and your strength that they have decided to start a foundation. They want to help families like yours. They want to help children like Emma. They are offering you a job to help run this foundation." Sarah felt tears come to her eyes, but this time they were happy tears. "I would love to do that," Sarah said. Now Sarah works 2 jobs. She works at the company, and she also works with the foundation. The foundation helps hundreds of families every year. These families have children with disabilities. The foundation gives them money and support and hope. Emma is now 9 years old. She still has cerebral palsy. She still walks slowly and talks a little differently than other children. But Emma is happy. Emma has friends. Emma has dreams. Emma knows that her mother loves her more than anything in the world. But what about Karen? After Karen lost her job, she tried to find another job. But everywhere she went, people knew about what she had done. No one wanted to hire her. Months passed. Karen sat at home. She had a lot of money saved, so she did not have to work. But she was lonely. She was ashamed. She started to think about what she had done. One day, Karen sat alone in her big house and cried. She cried about what she had done to Sarah and Emma. She cried about the life she had wasted on being angry and mean. She cried about all the people she had hurt over the years. Karen realized that she had spent her whole life being angry at other people because she was angry at herself. She was angry that she had no children. She was angry that she had no real friends. She was angry that her life felt empty. Karen decided to change. She went to see a doctor who helped with feelings and thoughts. She learned to be better. She learned to be kind. It took a long time, but slowly, Karen started to become a better person. 2 years after the gas station, Karen saw Sarah and Emma at a coffee shop. Karen was nervous. She was scared. But she walked over to them. "Sarah?" Karen said. Her voice was small and quiet. Sarah looked up. She recognized Karen immediately. For a moment, Sarah felt angry again. "Hello," Sarah said, but her voice was cold. "I am sorry," Karen said. "I know sorry is not enough. I know I hurt you and your beautiful daughter. I am sorry for everything I said and everything I did. I have spent 2 years trying to become a better person. I have thought about you and Emma every day. I thought about your daughter's smile. I thought about how strong you are. I thought about how wrong I was." Sarah listened. She could see that Karen was sincere. But Sarah did not want to forgive Karen. Not yet. Not completely. "I am glad you are sorry," Sarah said. "But you hurt my daughter. You hurt me. Sorry does not change that." "I know," Karen said. "But I want to help. I want to do something good. I have decided to give money to your foundation. I want to help families like yours. I want to help children like Emma. I want to use my life to do good things now instead of bad things. Sarah looked at Karen for a long time. If you want to help, Sarah said, then help. But do not expect forgiveness. Do not expect my friendship. Just help because it is the right thing to do. Karen nodded. She understood. From that day forward, Karen gave money to the foundation. She helped children with disabilities and their families. She did not ask for thanks. She did not ask for forgiveness. She just helped. After Karen started helping the foundation, she began to truly understand what Sarah and families like hers went through every single day. Karen volunteered at the foundation's centers where children with disabilities came to learn and play. She saw children who could not walk but who learned to dance with special help. She saw children who could not speak but who learned to paint beautiful pictures. She saw children who were told they were mistakes, but who were actually miracles. One day at the foundation, Karen met a little boy named Marcus. Marcus had Down syndrome. He was 5 years old and very happy. Marcus did not know who Karen was. He did not know about the gas station or what Karen had done to Emma. Marcus just saw a woman, and he gave her a big hug. Karen felt something break open inside her chest. She held Marcus and cried. She cried because she realized that every day she had wasted being mean and angry, she had missed moments like this. She had missed the chance to know beautiful children like Marcus and Emma. She had missed the chance to be part of something that mattered. Sarah watched Karen with Marcus. Sarah saw that Karen was changed. It was not instant forgiveness. Forgiveness is not always instant. But Sarah saw that Karen was trying. Sarah saw that Karen was learning. One day, Sarah decided to do something brave. She invited Karen to Emma's birthday party. Emma was turning 10 years old. Sarah was not sure if Emma would understand why Karen was there, but Sarah wanted Emma to make her own choice about Karen. When Karen arrived at the birthday party, Emma was playing with other children. Emma did not recognize Karen from the gas station because Emma had been so young and scared that day. But when Sarah introduced Karen, Sarah explained what had happened. A long time ago, Sarah told Emma, "This woman said mean things about you. She said things that hurt Mommy. But now, Karen is sorry. Now, Karen helps us at the foundation. She helps children like you. And I think she wants to be your friend." Emma looked at Karen with her big, beautiful eyes. Emma did not hold anger. Emma did not hold hate. Emma just saw a person. "Do you like candy?" Emma asked Karen. Karen laughed and cried at the same time. "I love candy," Karen said. "Especially lollipops." "Me too," Emma said. "That is what I wanted on the day you were mean. Do you want to play with me?" And so Karen played with Emma at her birthday party. They played games. They ate cake. They laughed together. It was the first time Karen had ever truly laughed with a child. It felt like coming home to a place she had never been before. Years later, when people asked Sarah if she forgave Karen, Sarah would say, "I do not know if forgiveness is the right word. What I know is that I did not let one mean person make me a mean person. I did not let hate win. My daughter Emma taught me that. Emma has every reason to be angry at the world. But Emma smiles. Emma laughs. Emma loves. So I choose to do the same." And Karen, she learned the same lesson. She learned that kindness is stronger than cruelty. She learned that love is more powerful than hate. And Emma, now a teenager, would smile and say, "Mommy is the strongest person I know. She taught me that different is not bad. Different is beautiful. Different is special." And I also learned something from Karen. I learned that people can change. People can become better. People can learn to love instead of hate. Karen is like my aunt now. She comes to all my birthday parties. She helps me with my homework. She tells me that I am beautiful and strong and worthy of love. Emma did not remember the cruelty from that day at the gas station. But she knew the story. And instead of making her angry or sad, the story made her proud. She was proud of her mother. She was proud that her mother stood up for her. She was proud that her mother did not let hate win. The foundation that started from Sarah's pain and Emma's strength grew and grew. It helped thousands of children. It helped thousands of families. Doctors and teachers and social workers all recommended it. The government gave it awards. Universities asked Sarah to give talks about her work. But Sarah never forgot where it all started. She never forgot the gas station. She never forgot Karen's cruel words. She never forgot the feeling of losing her job for protecting her daughter. And every time Sarah felt discouraged or tired, she would look at Emma and remember. She would remember why she was doing this work. She would remember all the little Emmas in the world who needed someone to believe in them. She would remember all the mothers and fathers who were fighting for their children every single day. One day, a reporter asked Sarah, "Do you think about Karen often? Do you think about that day?" Sarah thought for a long time before answering. "I think about it," Sarah said. "But not the way I used to. I used to think about it with anger and pain. But now I think about it differently. I think about it as a turning point. That day at the gas station was terrible. But it also changed my life. It led me to the foundation. It led me to help so many children. It led me to discover my true purpose in life." The reporter asked, "Do you wish it had never happened?" Sarah looked at her daughter Emma, who was now 15 years old and beautiful and strong and full of life. "If that day had never happened," Sarah said, "I might still be working at that marketing job. I might still be living a comfortable life but feeling empty inside. I might never have started the foundation. I might never have helped so many families. And I would not have had the chance to watch my daughter inspire thousands of people around the world. So no, I do not wish it had never happened. I wish Karen had never been cruel. But I am grateful for what came after. I am grateful for the good that came from the pain." Emma, listening to her mother speak, reached over and squeezed her hand. "You made something beautiful from something ugly, Mommy," Emma said. "That is what you always teach me. That is what you taught Karen. That is what you teach the families at the foundation." Sarah kissed Emma's forehead and held her close. The years passed. Emma grew up. She became a speaker herself. She gave talks to schools and organizations about living with cerebral palsy. She talked about how her mother's love saved her. She talked about how believing in yourself is powerful. She talked about how the world needs to change how it sees people with disabilities. And Karen, she became a champion for children with disabilities too. She used her money to help the foundation grow. She used her time to volunteer. She used her story of change to inspire others. One day, 10 years after that terrible day at the gas station, Sarah received an award from the government. The award was called the Medal of Honor for Community Service. Sarah was called to a big ceremony where hundreds of people watched. The president of the country was there. News cameras were everywhere. When Sarah walked on stage to receive the award, Emma walked with her. Emma was now 25 years old. Emma still had cerebral palsy. Emma still walked with a cane. But Emma walked with her head held high and a smile on her face. The president shook Sarah's hand and spoke about her work. The president talked about how Sarah had changed laws about disability rights. The president talked about how Sarah's foundation had helped over 50,000 families. The president talked about how Sarah had inspired a whole nation to see people with disabilities differently. When it was Sarah's turn to speak, she stood at the microphone and looked out at all the faces watching her. She saw reporters. She saw government officials. She saw families from the foundation. She saw Emma standing proudly beside her. 10 years ago, Sarah began, I was a woman who had a good job and a beautiful daughter. I thought my life was good. But I was not living my purpose. I did not know yet what I was meant to do with my life. Then something terrible happened. A woman was cruel to my daughter. This woman said things so mean that I lost my job. I lost my income. I felt lost. Sarah paused and looked at Emma. But my daughter taught me something that day. My daughter, who has every reason to be angry at this world, who has every reason to hate, taught me that love is stronger. My daughter taught me that we have a choice. We can let pain make us angry and mean, or we can let pain make us better. We can let pain make us kinder. We can let pain give us purpose. Sarah's voice was shaking now, full of emotion. I stood up for my daughter that day. And standing up for her changed my life. It led me to this moment. It led me to this foundation. It led me to help thousands of families. And it led me to show this country that children with disabilities are not broken. They are not mistakes. They are beautiful. They are strong. They are the future. The crowd stood up and clapped. People were crying. News reporters were filming. Emma was crying and smiling. I also want to say something else, Sarah continued. In my life, I have learned that people can change. People can grow. People can become better. Years ago, a woman hurt me and my daughter. That woman has spent the last 10 years trying to make that right. She has worked at our foundation. She has helped us. She has changed her whole life. And today, I am proud to call her my friend. Sarah pointed into the crowd, and there was Karen. Karen was also crying. Karen stood up and the crowd applauded her too. This is the real story of change, Sarah said. This is the real story of how we can make this world better. Not by staying angry. Not by staying divided. But by forgiveness. By compassion. By believing that people can change. By choosing love over hate. When Sarah came off the stage, Emma hugged her so tight that Sarah could barely breathe. I am so proud of you, Mommy, Emma said. I am so proud of everything you have done. Karen came over to them and hugged them both. Thank you, Karen said to Sarah. Thank you for giving me a chance to be better. Thank you for showing me that it is never too late to change. That night, there was a big celebration. Sarah, Emma, and Karen sat together at a table with other people from the foundation. They laughed and talked about the past 10 years. They talked about all the children they had helped. They talked about all the families whose lives had changed. One woman at the table asked Sarah, "What do you want to do next? You have already done so much. What is your next dream?" Sarah looked at Emma. I want to make sure that no child like Emma ever has to feel the pain that Emma felt, Sarah said. I want to change how schools teach children about disabilities. I want to change how people think about differences. I want to create a world where a child with cerebral palsy can walk into any gas station, any school, any place, and be welcomed with kindness instead of cruelty. That is a big dream, the woman said. Yes, Sarah said. It is. But I have learned that big dreams can come true. I have learned that one person can make a difference. I have learned that a mother's love can change the world. Emma reached over and squeezed her mother's hand. And I have learned, Emma said, that my mother's love can do anything. I have learned that being different is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be proud of. It is something that makes me special. My mother taught me that. And now she is teaching the whole world. That night, as Sarah and Emma drove home, Emma fell asleep with her head against the car window. Sarah looked at her daughter and felt grateful. Grateful for Emma's strength. Grateful for the journey they had been on together. Grateful for the chance to turn pain into purpose. And somewhere in the city, Karen sat alone in her apartment looking at a picture of Emma. She thought about how far she had come. She thought about the cruel person she used to be. She thought about the kind person she was becoming. And she promised herself that she would spend the rest of her life helping children like Emma. Because that was the only way she could truly make amends for the cruelty she had shown. This story teaches us something important. It teaches us that cruelty has consequences. It teaches us that kindness matters. It teaches us that children with disabilities are not less than other children. They are not it. They are humans. They are beautiful. They deserve love and respect. It teaches us that when we see someone being cruel, we must stand up. We must speak. We must say no to meanness. And most importantly, it teaches us that a mother's love is the strongest thing in the world. A mother will fight for her child. A mother will protect her child. A mother will teach her child that they are worthy and beautiful and enough. The gas station encounter changed many lives. It changed Sarah's life. It changed Emma's life. It changed Karen's life. It changed the lives of hundreds of families who were helped by the foundation. But most of all, it showed us that one small moment can make a big difference. One person's courage can inspire thousands. One mother's love can change the world. And that, my friends, is the real story. Not the cruelty of Karen. Not the loss of Sarah's job. The real story is the love between a mother and her daughter. The real story is a small girl with cerebral palsy who teaches the world what it means to be beautiful and strong and worthy of love. That is a story worth telling. That is a story worth remembering. That is a story that will make you cry, yes. But the tears you cry will not be tears of sadness only. They will also be tears of hope. They will be tears of love. They will be tears of believing in the goodness of people, even when people show us their cruelty. Because in the end, love wins. It always wins. Love wins over hate. Kindness wins over cruelty. And the strength of a mother's love will always, always win.